Today I'm going to be doing a reading from John of Gaunt's famous soliloquy from Act 2, Scene 1 of William Shakespeare's King Richard II. This is one of the most beloved soliloquies in all of English literature in describing the glories of England. It was one of Sir Winston Churchill's famous soliloquies for lines such as "This earth, this realm, this England, this blessed sceptre isle," and so on. The soliloquy itself was, of course, as I mentioned, recited in Act 2, Scene 1 of William Shakespeare's play, The Tragedy of King Richard II. It was recited by one of the main characters in the play, John of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster. Now, as for King Richard II himself, he was King of England from 1377 until he was deposed in 1399. His lifespan was from January 6, 1367, until he was bumped off on February 14th, 1400. So King Richard II was bumped off within a year of his being deposed from the throne. Now, what happened that led to King Richard's deposition? King Richard II was deposed by Henry, a man by the name of Henry Bolingbroke. Henry Bolingbroke was to become the future King Henry IV and the father of the King Henry V. Henry V, of course, who was one of England's greatest warrior kings, winning the Battle of Agincourt. But that, of course, hasn't happened yet, for Henry Bolingbroke's cousin, Richard II, is still king. But what happens is that an uncle of both men, the Duke of Gloucester, is murdered by a man by the name of Thomas Mowbray. Now, Henry Bolingbroke, who is the cousin of King Richard II, is quite pissed off by the murder of the Duke of Gloucester, so he wants judgment set against Thomas Mowbray. But of course, King Richard II refuses to judge Thomas Mowbray because it was King Richard himself who ordered Thomas Mowbray to murder the Duke of Gloucester. So when this avenue fails, Henry Bolingbroke has no idea why his cousin Richard II is not going to judge Mowbray, challenges Mowbray to a duel, and of course Richard II is to oversee the duel. Halfway between the duel between the two men, Henry Bolingbroke and Thomas Mowbray, King Richard II stands up and puts an end to the duel. He banishes Henry Bolingbroke out of the country for 6 years, and then he banishes Thomas Mowbray for life. Then, of course, after this happens, Richard II starts accumulating more money and more wealth, some of it through illegal means. And when Henry Bolingbroke's father, John of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster, dies, King Richard II seizes all of John of Gaunt's land, and it's when this happens that Henry Bolingbroke returns to England and eventually overthrows King Richard II. But while this massive amounts of tyranny and civil war was going on during the reign of King Richard II, just before the death of John of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster, needless to say, John of Gaunt is quite distressed by all that is going on in England. So John of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster, gives the following speech a few weeks before he kicks the bucket, as he laments what's happened to his beloved England. "Methinks I am a prophet, new inspired, especially drinking tea, which hasn't been discovered in England until the 16th century. That's why I'm a prophet, new inspired. Methinks I am a prophet, new inspired, and thus expiring do foretell of him. His wrath's fierce blaze of riot cannot last, for violent fires soon burn out themselves. Small showers last long, but sudden storms are short. He tires betimes, that spurs too fast betimes. With eager feeding food doth choke the feeder. Light vanity, insatiate cormorant, consuming moon soon preys upon itself. Oh, this royal throne of kings, this sceptred isle, this earth of majesty, this seat of Mars, this other Eden demi-paradise, this fortress built by nature for herself against infection in the hand of war, this happy breed of men, this little world, this precious stone set in the silver sea, which serves it in the office of a wall, or as a moat defensive to a house, against the envy of less happier lands, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. And so, of course, John of Gaunt laments the fall of England, and with these lines that so stirred Shakespeare: this royal throne of kings, this sceptred isle, this earth of majesty, this seat of Mars, this other Eden demi-paradise, this fortress built by nature for herself, against infection in the hand of war, this happy breed of men, this little world, this precious stone set in the silver sea, which serves it in the office of a wall, or as a moat defensive to a house, against the envy of less happier lands. This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. And with such a line as that, one cannot help but enjoy a good English cup of tea. And now, having recited that line about England, and having drunk a good English cup of tea, I think I shall have a good English supper tonight. Yes, a good English supper. Now, what would a good English supper be these days? I know, curried lamb and tandoori chicken.